Tonight, mainly clear skies, the low of around 50. And tomorrow, we'll see mostly sunny skies again with a high of around 77. Meteorologist Kyle Husker from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Accelerate your financial journey. With Kasasa Cash, experience the thrill of earning more with each transaction or the freedom to withdraw your cash from any ATM nationwide. Not to mention, no monthly service fees. It's the power of earning up to 5.5% APY on your Kasasa Cash with Liberty First Credit Union. Earn rewards beginning at a penny, continuing up to $40,000. Visit libertyfirstcu.com for details. Federally insured by NCUA. Liberty First Banking with purpose.
Tune in to Teammates Mentoring Hour each Wednesday at 6 p.m. on 93's The Ticket. Hear stories from the program started by Tom and Nancy Osborne and how it's changed mentors and mentees' lives and how you can be involved. The Teammates Mentoring Hour, Wednesday nights from 6 to 7 o'clock on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the Ticket crew as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show, powered by Sunbelt Rentals. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador, Select Plumbing, Jimmy John's, Lincoln Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits, Fleet Beef, Yours Cheese Spread on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! You're going to go out of here. That's a big eight. Tournament champ for you.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Welcome to it on a Monday. Plenty to get to throughout the show. Premium text line, handling and hotline. Keep chiming in, 402-464-5685. Let us know your thoughts. Anything you need to get off your chest about Husker football and Colorado, the week to come, the weeks ahead, whatever it is, let us know. Big thanks to Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul, not open today or tomorrow. They'll be back open for you on Wednesday. I'm Austin Norman. He is Eric Strickland, back from Boulder. Stricky, good weekend in Boulder for you?
Good weekend in Boulder, very peaceful. I had to go into some Zen moments. I didn't go as far as maybe Aaron Rodgers. I didn't go into the into the mountains. The Rockies, and kind of find a cave and go in. But I had a good time, man. It was very relaxing. It was peaceful. The Husker fans showed up. Blur was absolutely phenomenal. Once again, they showed up. There was some frustration. You could definitely see it. Some perplexity. Guys, women were perplexed. You saw a return of some that went over to the stadium and they just couldn't bear it anymore. I think that's, for me, more than anything, was what I was worried about. You saw some scuffles. I think there was some on video. There was a couple of scuffles that happened in the stands. I think that was another reason, out of frustration. I didn't want to go over there. Somebody gets to run in their mouth and, all of a sudden it jumps off. And so, right. So there was a lot of reasons why I didn't want to go. And I think I kind of, it hit perfectly as the reason why I didn't go.
Makes sense. Well, glad you avoided it. Husker fans showed up pretty well. Probably not 60-40 even that was anticipated. Seemed like there was more black and gold in that stadium. But Strick, in just a few minutes we have here before we really jump into Husker football, it bears pointing out, 22 years ago today, 9/11 anniversary. Last week, a couple weeks ago, you pointed out the story you had where you're sitting at your gate and you're seeing all of it go down. Yeah. Not much more to say or add to it for me other than we remember, we never forget, obviously a pivotal moment in not just modern history, not just U.S. history, but in world history. So again, everyone take a sec, pause, reflect. Slow down, reflect, all that stuff. Our hearts go out to those families affected by it and all across the world.
Well, absolutely. It was a rough time. I really got to understand the magnitude of what my father did in the Air Force, being in missiles, and how close. And we're kind of closing in on potentially some other tight situations like that, right? And so we just hope that nothing happens that would continue to propel us into unending, continuous situations. But shout out to those fallen, those that lost their lives and had to deal with some of that, because it wasn't just the actual those who were in the buildings. It was the aftermath of when they came down, the asbestos and the inhalation of a lot of that dust and how that hit for blocks and blocks. And so those are still dealing with the aftermath and the ramifications of just so it was a lot to it, man. But shout out to those out in New York. Yeah, being there was surreal. It was a surreal thing, and it's something that I remember throughout my life.
And to your point, let's not have anything like that again. So again, take that moment, pause, reflect. We're going to turn the page, start talking some Husker football next segment all throughout this first hour. Plenty of stuff to look at around the Big Ten as well. We'll do some of that in hour 2. Also take a look at the NFL, some interesting results from around there.
Man, it was a good NFL weekend.
It was.
It was interesting. A lot of games were fun to watch.
We'll get into that in hour 2, but we'll step aside again. Any other Husker thoughts, let us know, 402-464-5685. We'll dive into our thoughts from Nebraska, Colorado, get you guys on the text line as well in segment 2 of the show next.
It takes a great game plan to win a football game each week. Right now, it's time to trip to get a new Mullen Motors. Just like on the football field, there's a wall of defense on the way to Mullen Motors. 48th Street is under construction from Layton all the way to Cornhusker Highway. But the lot at Mullen Motors is full of tons of great vehicles to drive home this fall for the ultimate touchdown. Mullen Motors, still open through road construction at 48th and Walker.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Gray Diesel and Equipment Services is your go-to place in Lincoln for repairs and maintenance for diesel pickups to Class 8 over-the-road trucks and trailers, from bumper pole utility to full-size semi. Gray performs DOT inspections and are a service provider for fleet companies like ARI, Element Fleet, and FleetNet. They're a family-owned business in operation since 1952, and they keep a clean, friendly shop. Customer service is their top priority. Give Gray Diesel and Equipment Services a visit today, with easy access just off I-80 and North 56th Street.
The days of internet contracts and heavy fine print are over. It's time to experience hassle-free service with no contracts or hidden fees. That's the Allo promise. Allo Communications provides fiber internet, TV, and phone services with fair and no-nonsense pricing. All backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, 24/7 local support 365 days a year, and a monthly bill you can count on. Don't settle for gimmicks. Settle for hassle-free with Allo. Visit us at allofiber.com/hassle-free.
LES is hosting an EV Ride and Drive event at Haymarket Park on Sunday, September 24th. Attendees can sign up to test drive a variety of electric vehicles. Visit les.com/drive to learn more.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of local union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and are offering great pay and benefits. Like 02-875-1034 apply. Start your electrical career today.
Attention all Wings fans. 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree. I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and service. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Nutrition Authority invites you to try Attack, which is a exciting pre-workout for athletes and gym enthusiasts who want the most out of their workout. Attack can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Remember, when you want results, the solution is simple. Nutrition Authority. Stop in or check us out at mynutritionauthority.com.
Is your backyard with friends and family this fall? GE Landscape Supply has pavers and boulders, which are a great accent for any backyard landscaping project. And you can find them at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere, nearby or far away. 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7:60 a.m. Monday and 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturdays. Go to gscapesupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
Accelerate your financial journey. With Kasasa Cash, experience the thrill of earning more with each transaction or the freedom to withdraw your cash from any ATM nationwide. Not to mention, no monthly service fees. It's the power of earning up to 5.5% APY on your Kasasa Cash with Liberty First Credit Union. Earn rewards beginning at a penny, continuing up to $40,000. Visit libertyfirstcu.com for details. Federally insured by NCUA. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose. Account qualifications apply.
Guys, you've heard me tell you all about Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping. But it's not just me. Folks all over town are having success with the FXB program. Guys like Gary, who just finished up his own 10-week challenge.
Yeah, Mark. After having a knee replacement in March, I was looking for a way to get back into shape. The workouts are fun. The atmosphere is a total blast. And I've lost 17 pounds since starting in July.
The next Farrell's 10-week challenge begins on October 7th, and ticket listeners get $150 off enrollment. Just head to theticketfm.com. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions. Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right. We're in football. Colorado 36-14 defeat for the Huskers at the hands of the Buffaloes. At the hoofs of the Buffaloes? I don't know. Point being, Nebraska got trampled. Strick, I said this on Saturday. I think the 14 points looked better for the offense than it actually was, and the 36 points from the defense looked worse than it actually was.
Yeah, and that was the crazy thing about that is we kind of had an idea that might be possible. We just didn't know. And the reason we said that is there was a 3-point loss, a 3-point win. It could have went either way in that situation where it could have been a different record coming into that situation. We knew that some of the stuff that I said, which I was impressed with, they got through the first quarter without any crazy mistakes.
It was 0-0.
It wasn't until the second quarter where we just started to see the wheels of the wagon fall off, and that's when it kind of started to go downhill. And from that point on, you have to look at it. If you're not able to move the ball, then you're going to have trouble for that defense, especially in altitude. And that's something that I talked about. And here's the thing. The game plan was operating as I had said it should. And others have also said, but I'm not saying I was the only one, but
you said it the best, though. Let's be honest.
One of the things I said is I'm lining up and I'm running a whole bunch of balls right at Travis Hunter. And I'm putting a body on, and you saw the frustration. He was trying to throw guys, and guys were throwing him down, and it was working. You were actually driving the ball, making plays, making moves. You had a couple things that stalled you out, a couple mistakes that stalled you out. Now, obviously, some of those was not receiving the shotgun snaps. So that's where I hate that it didn't work out, because it could have worked out if you could have been able to stay with the game plan that you had set forth. But that changes when you get yourself down like that.
So much of the process was, if not excellent, at least acceptable. You were trending in the right direction until that one mistake killed it. Just a random dropped snap. Until an interception that should never have been thrown. Until either the center gets confused, the quarterback calls for the snap at the wrong time, you hit the tight end fullback guy going in motion, and another drive stalls like that, right? I'm with you. And that the general process and the game plan seemed solid. A lot of the conversation, as it always does, has circled back to the quarterback. You asked Devin about this last week. We talked about it a little bit. You asked, if this continues, how long is the leash? One game against Minnesota, maybe it's the outlier. 2 games against Colorado, another 4 turnovers for Nebraska. You asked the question.
So you
I'll
have
flip it
6
around
in 2
to you.
games, right?
Yes.
For him.
Credited to Jeff Sims.
Mm-hmm.
How much leash is left?
That's where so I was hoping that when they decided to go with Harburg, that we would hopefully see something. Now, something I was impressed with was his feet. I didn't know to the extent of which his feet were solid in being able to pull the ball down and make plays. I thought that impressed me. Obviously, coming in that high intense atmosphere, I think with time, maybe a little bit better potentially. But I still think that Jeff Sims is still a good enough athlete that you got to find something for him to do. You got to find a place for him. Or you have to change your offensive scheme. You cannot use Jeff Sims, and this is where I differ from maybe some out there. You can't use Jeff Sims in a straight drop back, a straight multiple read type of offense. That's not where he thrives. I think you have to put him in option types of situations. Whatever that option was that they tried to run, that fake to nobody fake. I mean, if you want to use the fullback, get the fullbacks involved. Get the fullbacks running out on the edge, putting bodies on outside linebackers or on cornerbacks to allow your Jeff to have a little bit more time, a little bit more room to make a decision. But whatever that single back fake to that nobody's biting on that. You know what I mean?
No.
So yeah, it's just little stuff like that threw me off a little bit, that you hope that they can make adjustments on and do better.
To your point, also with coaches helping Jeff Sims along. Anthony Richardson threw 3 balls to the left side of the line of scrimmage, 3 or 4 all day yesterday. Everything else was to the right. Quick hitters, in rhythm, completed 65% of his passes. His one interception wasn't a good one, but the coaches simplified that game plan for him, right? And I think there's a lot of similarities there. Great athlete, maybe still developing as a quarterback. Richardson is leaps and bounds further than Sims is as a quarterback, right? Not as an athlete, as a quarterback. Text line, I'm going to wrap up a lot of your thoughts kind of into this general discussion. If I don't shout you out by name, just know we're addressing your question. We're trying to do the best we can here, tie a lot together. Okay, the first aspect of this. How long is the leash? Jeff Sims starts against Northern Illinois. I'm telling you that happens right now. Unless his ankle injury is so bad he can't play, he's starting. That goes and ties into me, Strick, with the same question of, well, where's the discipline? Anthony Grant fumbles and he gets taken out. He doesn't see the field yesterday. Why doesn't Jeff Sims get taken out? This is where I go back to read between the lines and watch the actions. Just because Matt Rule and Marcus Satterfield say they feel like they can win with Heinrich Harburg and Chubba Purdy doesn't mean they actually believe it. They don't believe it. If they believed it, they would have put them in sooner than they did, sooner before necessity forced them to, right? Sounds like Jeff Sims was at least moving around on his ankle. Maybe they're using that as a cover to play the younger guys in a blowout of a game.
Yeah.
That's why they put him in. Maybe it's actually hurt. I don't know. But their actions tell me they don't believe in either one of these 2 other quarterbacks.
Yeah, I've got a feeling about that. I think there were a couple throws that I saw from Harburg, a couple that were launched. It's kind of crazy to say, but even Jeff Sims was a little bit more in the range than a few of Harburg's throws. So, and again, I can't fault the fact that he came in a pretty tough situation. You're down big. I think this is a situation like I had when I was playing ball, where opportunity opens up like a crack in the door. You can peek into the opportunity. You can see what's in there, but it's up to you to kick that joint down so that it stays open for you to be able to walk in, as opposed to trying to slide in, right? For me, that's what it felt like for Harburg. I think I was saying to myself, this is your opportunity, young man. You either going to kick this thing down, or you're going to continue to create the mental part of what Satterfield and Coach Rule have towards you, is about, without Sims, we can't win. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think he did anything in that game with the opportunity that was given to kick that door open and to make way for him to walk through the door. I don't think so.
Sims has his belt loop caught on the door handle and smacked his head on it right now with how he's playing. Harburg just kind of stood there, didn't kick it open, didn't slam it shut, right?
Yeah.
This is where I go back to as well. Well, it can't be worse than Jeff Sims, can it? Right? Well, give someone else a shot. It can't be worse. Careful what you ask for. We saw a lot of the same stuff from Chubba Purdy last year, and Harburg just played his first competitive snaps at quarterback last week, right? Maybe they don't drop the ball, on a snap. maybe they don't, snapped it at the wrong time, maybe whatever. They still probably make some of the same reads like Jeff Sims has throwing the ball. My worry is that, okay, maybe they don't do some of those procedural things, but is the wide receiver core going to get any better with those guys playing?
No.
I highly doubt it.
Yeah.
Is the tight end room going to step up with those other two guys? Probably not, which is where I think the context of disciplining Jeff Sims versus Anthony Grant for what's being perceived as a similar problem hits a bit of a snag. The context of the quarterback room is that there are no right answers. Jeff Sims isn't the right answer right now, but neither are Harburg or Purdy. Purdy's banged up, hasn't looked like the guy in his playing time, and Harburg has to prove he's anything more than just Nebraska-born Jeff Sims.
Yeah.
He's still got to prove that. On the flip side, in the running back room, Gabe Ervin hasn't been a stud, hasn't been elite. He's been fine. He's been passable. And Ramir Johnson has enough of a track record that I'm willing to give him those reps, right? You have two viable alternatives at running back. You don't have any good answers at quarterback, and that's why Jeff Sims keeps getting run out there.
Yeah, I agree. I think one of the things that I saw is just the on-field awareness of Jeff Sims. And here, I'm going to give you two examples. One, you're trying to answer. You run Fedoni on an out with a faster safety who undercuts the route, and your awareness is throw the ball inside where it's easy pickings on an out route. So there's two parts to that. You throw it not only inside, you're late because Fedoni was dang near at the sideline at that point. Out routes against safeties with depth must be thrown on time and on before break, matter of fact, right? That's the only way you get that in. If it's too late, speed and all of that catches up, now you have a turnover. That's one mistake. The other issue that I saw, and it's the awareness thing. I'm not knocking his talent. It's the awareness thing. You're in a 2-minute drill and the clock is down to 11 seconds and you have no clue that the clock is down to 11 seconds. You're actually approaching the line with a mentality or a look on your face as if you had a minute left and the clock runs out and you had no clue to even be ready to snap that ball or to get the play in or to be on a hustle. Or those are the things to me that I see that scares me.
Or even him going out of bounds instead of sliding to keep the clock running.
Right.
Colorado, used its last time out.
Right. Little awareness things. So I don't knock him on who he is and also what he's working with, whether it be the line, whether it be the receivers, tight ends. It's those awareness things that give me pause.
And I think you can credibly blame both the coaches and the player for those decisions, right? It's on the coaches to coach it out of him, right? But at the same time, Jeff Sims has played enough football. He should know that stuff already.
Yeah.
He should. That shouldn't need to be coached, right? If there is a timeout, if there is, a downtime, like you're huddling, right? Nebraska made this point of huddling. Whoever brings the play in, right? Even if it's Jeff Sims seeing the play, he should know enough to say,
let's go.
Stay in bounds, right? Sense of urgency, but stay in bounds. Keep the clock running, get it moving. You shouldn't have to coach it. The fact that you have to coach it says volumes. That stuff the, third year, fourth year starting quarterback should just know intrinsically. It shouldn't come down to coaching, but that's where we are. And again, like I said in the crossover, it comes back to coaching and that what was their evaluation process? We have people saying, if this is what it looks like, it's this bad already. Maybe the roster does need to be flipped dramatically. They didn't say Dion style, but I think that's the implication there. And maybe it does, right? To me, it's less fair to question the coaches about, well, why aren't you putting in the backups? Because then I think you're kind of running in that same circle of you bench Adrian, you put McCaffrey in, he's ineffective. Here comes Noah Vedral in a pinch, still not great. Oh, Adrian's back in. That just gets you back to step one with triple the drama. And that's not good for anybody.
No.
But what is fair to question, at least more fair in my opinion, is the talent evaluation. Is what the coaching staff is seeing from not just the quarterback position, but up and down the roster, is what they're seeing actually true? Or are they trying to talk themselves into guys, try to talk themselves into their ability to coach this team up, to coach this group up for their goals in year one?
What also I'll throw out there is Ron made a sent a text into the Sutter Heyman text line, and it says, "Guys, do you think we need a high-powered quarterback to win games with this team?" And I think it's relevant to our discussion. Or do we have a talent at other positions to grind out wins if we have fundamentally sound game manager at quarterback? So this is the part that I speak to in the evaluation process, right? If you're Coach Satterfield and you're coming in and you know what you have in Jeff Sims, then you can't stick with your South Carolina cookie cutter style of offense. You have to adjust it to the style of the quarterback that you have. In order to have success, that's what's going to happen. So you're potentially, quote unquote, your over thought process of coaching up probably has put you in this situation right here, right? Because here's the thing. If that's what you're asking for, Ron, right? If that's what you're asking for, Casey Thompson was him. If you're looking for a guy that can manage a game, if you give him time, he is a guy who can actually throw more little because you need if you're going to stay with the same offense you have right now without running some form of Tommy Frazier style offense with minimal reads, RPOs that have boom, 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 and two decisions with you being the last one of just tucking in and going, then you need somebody like him who can throw a little bit into better, tighter windows if you give him time without getting crushed in less than a second, type of thing. So that's where I see the style of the offense fits more for Casey Thompson. And if you weren't going to do that, you've kind of put your Jeff Sims in a tough situation to do something that he's not really capable of doing.
Which I think, again, goes back to evaluation in a lot of ways.
That's why I addressed that question.
Yep. Which also, let's just throw this out here just to have some fun with it. Ohio went on the road and beat Florida Atlantic and Casey Thompson, who struggled, right? Again, Casey would have been the adult in the room. I was pushing for him. I think that would have been a great get for Nebraska. Not a perfect guy. Is Nebraska 1-1 with Casey? I don't know. Is Nebraska 2-0? I don't know. They seem to lose a lot of games in similar ways. But
is he a better backup than what you have?
He absolutely is.
But
does he want to be a backup?
Right. So there's the thing.
There's a lot going into it. Let's wrap up with this here. 8985 on the text line says, what did Harburg do in his short time playing this last game that would warrant not giving him a shot in the next game? You said it. It's a short time, right? My evaluation of Heinrich Harburg is Jeff Sims 2.0 in a lot of ways. Raw, needs to learn how to play quarterback, run first, big arm, accuracy, precision sort of struggles. I'm not saying he shouldn't get a shot. I'm just saying don't be surprised if you call for that and you see exactly what you see from Jeff Sims, just from someone who looks different. The coaching staff is going with Jeff Sims. They have put their egg in that basket. He is starting as long as he can walk against Northern Illinois. Just prepare yourself for it, because you're not going to bench him against Northern Illinois, because what you're going to say if you're the coaches is this is a great chance to get him in rhythm and to get him confidence.
Yes.
You don't bench him in a game like this, right? Nebraska could very well lose. We've seen it happen before.
It's dangerous.
We'll talk about it later in the week. So it just makes no sense to me to automatically assume the other guys are going to be better.
This is a dangerous game. It really is, because I'd love to hear from you guys. 402-464-5685. What is your sentiment if Nebraska loses this game? What does a coaching staff do? What is the mentality? How do you motivate the kids? They're not kids, they're young men. The young men to go back out the next one at home and continue to do better when you keep seeing, like, at what point does the defense start turning on the offense and vice versa?
Let's get to the defense to wrap up this hour and to start next hour, because we need to talk about the defense and the job it's doing, good and bad, because it's a mixed bag. Again, like I said, prefacing this whole hour, probably this whole week, nobody is good enough. Everyone has to be better. He's Eric Strickland. I'm Austin Norman. We're talking Husker football. We'll round out hour one after this.
Nutrition Authority invites you to try Attack, which is an exciting pre-workout for athletes and gym enthusiasts. But the most out of Attack can only be done at Nutrition Authority. Remember when you book the school, Nutrition Authority. Stop in or check us out at mynutritionauthority.com.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. And Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Gray Diesel and Equipment Services is your go-to place in Lincoln for repairs and maintenance for diesel pickups to Class 8 over-the-road trucks and trailers, from bumper pole utility to full-size semi. Gray performs DOT inspections and are a service provider for fleet companies like ARI, Element Fleet, and Fleet. They're a family-owned business since 1952, and they keep a clean, friendly shop. Customer service is their top priority. Give Gray Diesel and Equipment Services a visit today with easy access just off I-80 and North 56th Street.
Okay, old buddy, I took you through the car wash and drove you out to your favorite dirt road to talk about something. Well, I'll tell you. Trucks and Bucks from the Nebraska Lottery's back, and I'm just going to buy some tickets, that's all. No reason to get upset. Of course you mean a lot to me. But this year, the Nebraska Lottery's giving away 8 Atlas Blue 2023 Ford F-150 XLT Super Crew Flex Fuel trucks. I mean, these things are gorgeous. And what happens if I win one? Hey, you'll still be part of the family. I thought maybe I'd give you to my nephew, Josh. He's not a terrible driver. He only left the gas nozzle in his tank and drove off once. Okay, twice.
Ford F-150 is a registered trademark owned and licensed by Ford Motor Company. Top prize odds 1 in 336,000.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top-shelf liquor to crowd-favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
Brown Shoe Fit has all types of shoes for you to excel this fall. Check out their large variety of tennis shoes and dress shoes in brands like Brooks, Hoka, Merrell, On, and many more. Browns has the local professionals to get the proper fit, aided by their high-tech foot scanner by Atrax. Stop by Brown Shoe Fit today, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln, or check out their options online at brownshoefitco.com.
This is Brad with Midwest Bank, proudly serving our Nebraska communities for over 70 years. We're a community bank, making local decisions, supporting local organizations, and helping local businesses and farms succeed. We are dedicated to serving our clients and helping them meet their financial needs with sound, innovative banking solutions. From an array of checking and deposit accounts, cash management services, to small business, real estate, and ag lending. We're here for you, your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwestbank.com. Member FDIC.
Hot tub season is here, and to celebrate, Fonzal Pool and Spa is having a Labor Day sale so good that they're offering it for the whole week. Purchase a new High Life Collection or Limelight Collection spa and receive a free step and cover lifter from now until September 11th. Stock will go fast, so hurry in and claim your new spa today. It's the Labor Day sale from September 1st through the 11th at Fonzal Pool and Spa at 33rd and Highway 2 or at fonzalpool.com.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket as soon as the clock hits 0. The Chief Foreman post-game show. Listen to expert analysis from the Husker Hall of Famer and veteran for 90 minutes after the game. The Jay Foreman post-game show. Sponsored by Tanner's Bar and Grill, Vinny Creekak, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. The home of Kansas City Royals baseball. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Now back to On the Block with Chicken Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Not much time in this segment. We're up against the top of the hour. So, Strick, I'll go to what Craig is saying on the text line. He says, any quarterback that doesn't lose the game all by himself is an improvement. Feels bad, but it's true. You and I both responded to him via text, but I think it's worth, bringing out into talking about as well. He then says, okay, 60% Sims, 40% offensive line. But I'll counter with this. Yes, Jeff Sims is getting a lot of the blame, deservedly so. He hasn't been great. The offensive line, I don't think, has been the biggest problem with this team. They haven't been great. At the very least, they haven't been good enough. Mm-hmm. You can't just stop there, right? Is the receiver room helping out at all? No, Bullock had that drop. They're not getting open. They're not giving their quarterback the space he needs because, like you've said, he's not accurate enough to make it work. Yeah. Is the tight end room producing enough? No, I don't think so. Is some of that on the quarterback because he's the one that throws the ball? Yes, but they have to be better. And are the running backs good enough to give more carries to if the offensive line is the problem? No, they're not game breakers, any single one of them on their own. So as much flack as Jeff Sims is getting, as much of it is deserved, again, everyone is to blame. Nobody is good enough.
Yeah, I think all the way around the board, everybody is to blame at this point. Because we still had discipline issues, mistakes.
Mm-hmm. Colorado even had more issues than Nebraska did and still won the game by 3 possessions.
You see what I'm saying? And I don't even know how to explain it. I mean, can it get better? I think these next 2 games will be a good showing as to if we'll have Malachi Coleman or any of the other freshmen to be able to kill their red shirts. Is this season at a point where you're looking at it and you're worried as whether or not they're going to even be good enough to even waste that red shirt from them? Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. I'm kind of up in the air on it. I think you've got to get better. I think maybe if they can show improve in these next few games, maybe you risk it. But you definitely have to get to work on quarterback situations. And look, Bellevue West is struggling now. Right. So, you got to say, is Kalen the guy that's going to be able to come in and save you,
on day one?
On day one, is that the kind of, you got to ask the question. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a little leery as to where we are and the status and the state of where we are right now.
I'm with you. A couple other people on the text line were asking, okay, let's say next offseason comes, Matt Rule says the roster is not good enough and then decides to flip it. You bring in 70 new players. What would the reaction from the fan base be? I think it'd be split. Some of them would say, good, about time. Those guys weren't cutting it. Let's get new guys in. It's working right now for Colorado. The other half would say, well, then why'd you hire Matt Rule? That's not what he came in here to do. That's not his style. Why is he going so far against what he said? And also, do you trust this coaching staff that made these evaluations on this group of players to hit on enough out of that group of 70 to make a difference?
That's where I'm at. My mind is so, because I can't see an exit strategy. Mm-hmm. Not that we're trying to exit from I'm trying to say exit from the losing. I can't. And listen, the freaking West is so freaking wide open that I'm even more perturbed at the fact that we can't even, not at this point, I can't even see an exit strategy on getting to winning and getting out of the West to possibly be in a championship game. Wisconsin looks so beatable. Iowa's just okay. Illinois, You know,
Purdue, last year's champion, man.
I'm dumbfounded right now now look, I would love the fact that they could turn it around. You know, I hate that you lost the first one, but really right now, Minnesota's probably sitting in the driver's seat in the West. I mean, I don't see anybody that was right now that is as strong as them. And then they're capable of falling out because they weren't great.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Last year would have been a good year to be better in the Big Ten West. This year would have been a good year to be better in the Big Ten West. But the program just can't get out of its own way in so many aspects.
Yeah.
It's all tied together. It all works together, and it makes us all sad. We'll keep talking Husker football. We tease defense. That's how we'll lead off hour number 2. If you have any thoughts on the Husker defense, positive or negative, let us know. 402-464-5685. Or if you're like BJ watching on YouTube, also got Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter comments available for you. He's Strick. I'm Austin. This is On the Block. More in a sec.
This is Brian at Midwest Bank, and we've been proudly serving clients in the Lincoln community since 2008. We're excited to open a second look in January 2024 at 70th and Pioneers Boulevard. Our new branch will provide all the convenient services you're looking for in a bank, along with the friendly staff we're known for. Whether you're starting a business or expanding your business, our team is here for you, your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwestbank.com, member FDIC.
Summer is winding down, but there's no reason to put your golf clubs away. Double Eagle Golf makes golf leagues and events possible year-round. Sign up today for 9-hole leagues this fall, any day from Monday to Friday, starting on September 25th. Check out their deals on monthly memberships and schedule your Husker watch parties, birthday or bachelor parties, corporate and team outings, or just a good old Saturday with the boys. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street. Call today at 402-742-0140.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back. Sure. Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
The best way to learn about Southeast Community College is to visit. SCC's Career Days will provide you with a hands-on experience as you learn alongside SCC faculty and students and industry partners. Explore careers in healthcare, construction, ag, automotive, manufacturing, engineering, power sports, transportation, or technology. See your options at southeast.edu/visit SCC. SCC, your path to possible.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices. Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Sunday morning. It's quiet, not in a weird, too quiet way. Calm, peaceful, tranquil. You pour yourself that cup of coffee. You slice yourself a hearty chunk of one of Beatrice Bakery's breakfast breads. Now, maybe you're an apple streusel guy. Nothing wrong with that. I can respect that. Personally, I'm a turtle nut man. Something about those pecans. But the real ones know, don't sleep on that date nut bread. Sweet, but not too sweet. Nutty, not overly. The perfect morning treat. Beatrice Bakery. Online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket as soon as the clock hits 0 for the Jay Foreman postgame show. Listen to expert analysis from the Husker Hall of Famer, an 8-year NFL veteran, for 90 minutes after the game. The Jay Foreman postgame show, sponsored by Tanner's Bar and Grill, Vinny Creekat, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone, and here with me is Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, I know the new Honda sales are going really good right now at Honda of Lincoln, and with that, a lot of fresh trade-ins are coming in. Can you tell our listeners about your pre-owned selection?
I'm happy to, Charlie. Like you said, with new Honda sales going very good, we have a lot of fresh trade-ins coming in daily, and not just Hondas. We have just about every maker model you can imagine, with over 100 pre-owned and certified pre-owned to choose from, and prices starting at just $5,900.
Wow, what about financing?
We have financing as low as 3.29% APR on certified Accords and CRV.
Thanks again, Andy. People love the selection and great service at Honda of Lincoln. Maybe it's time you come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather, sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see some morning fog as well as a slight chance of showers. Super otherwise cloudy this morning. We'll see partly sunny skies this afternoon, though, with a high of around 74. Tonight, mainly clear skies, the low of around 50. And tomorrow, we'll see mostly sunny skies again with a high of around 77. The meteorologist Kyle Hucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. The Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three. He's going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Of a Monday show means we're talking Husker football. Good stuff, mostly on the offense in hour number one. We're going to dive into the defense at least to start here in hour number two. About 3:30, we'll have Brian Munson of Husker Online with us. He will be talking some Husker recruiting. All right, Strick, you put it up there. Let's just dive right in. Defense kicks butt this year so far, GBR from Huskers 2023. Through 2 games, what's your impression of the Husker football defense?
Very impressed. Very impressed because they've been stout. Yes, it's not perfect. They've made mistakes. But what can I attribute the mistakes to? When are usually the mistakes happening with this team? It's not early. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's some things that I talked about that Nebraska had to do, and I thought they did that in the first quarter. That was moving the ball, running the ball, minimizing opportunities for the Colorado Buffaloes, exchanging field, and not allowing short fields for the Husker defense. Great recipe for success. You have a 0-0 score. Mm-hmm. Mistakes happen. You give short field. You open up windows. Then you're tired because you just, they've been taking the bend but don't break way of defense. They've been getting pressure. They were doing that against Shedeur Sanders.
8 sacks.
They were after him. And so to me, the mistakes happen when? Late. And that's because I believe I played basketball, I played football, and I played sports. When I'm mentally tired, that is the point where most mistakes happen. We said we were going to get into it. This is something that I believe you saw in the Texas-Alabama game. Late in that game, the game was lost because of the more mentally tired team, and it seemed to me that was Alabama. They looked wore out, and it began to open up doors and windows, and Quinn Ewers in the group open. That's what I'm seeing out of this defense. Their struggles don't seem to be early. It seems to be late, and I think that comes with a little bit of depth issues. It's when you start getting to that second, third, tier guy in a 3-3-5, especially in the secondary. I think that's when you're starting to see some issues, and it shows with some of the mistakes that were made.
Either means they need to be in better shape or they need better pregame meal. Get yours at Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul at 27th, 29th in Pine Lake here in Lincoln. We'll get to Texas Bama in just a sec, but I think you make a good point, a very human point about the defense getting tired, and that's where the mistakes come. Yes, makes perfect sense. But Strick, we had this exact same conversation in 2021. The defense would play so well, they would keep Nebraska in the game. Michigan State, they shut down Kenneth Walker in his really good year. Ohio State, they hold to 26 points. And the offense wasn't able to do it. You come up with a pick and almost recovered fumble.
Michigan
on C.J. Stroud. Michigan, you hang
with
in there
their
as
running
well.
game.
Right. The defense played well in 2021. But it was always that late drive at the end of the game, right? And I don't want to minimize the fact that those guys are going all out for 65, 75, 85, 90 snaps at a time, right? Anyone would be tired, and that makes sense. But if we're going to give the defense that excuse that they're tired, then either they're not deep enough because you got to find a way, you got to find a way to bow up and make that stop. You either have to be in better shape. That falls on maybe on the guys to some degree, taking ownership of it, the conditioning plan with the nutrition and the strength staff. Or 3, what we have to confront is this defense is good, but not good enough to carry Nebraska to a bowl game, right?
Yeah,
People
they're not Iowa good.
No, they're not.
Which can make things happen. Go ahead.
We just have to keep that in perspective, right? Because we're talking about not we, not you, just people in general. The conversation around the defense is, oh, they're so good. Oh, they're being let down by the offense. And that can be true. I have no pushback against that, right? This is not an elite defense. This is not a defense that can carry Nebraska to a bowl game. If that's still the goal in year 1, seems like a long shot. Thought you needed to get at least one of these first 2 to have any shot of bowl eligibility, right? There's still 10 games left. Crazier things have happened. It's still absolutely on the table. But it's going to come with offensive improvement and defensive improvement, because at some point, we can't let tiredness and depth be an excuse if we want this defense to be what we say it is. Because right now, it's not what we're saying the defense is. It's good. It's fine. You need more turnovers. You need to find a way to make that one more play to get off the field. If you want me to take you seriously as hey, this is a group that can carry a team.
There you go. Yeah, that would be the opposite of just my perspective on what I saw. And yeah, that is it. That's part of the reasons things that they have to do. I don't think we'll know the answer to that question until we maybe get into game 5. Maybe after the Michigan game. The Michigan game, I think, is going to probably be more of a test as to where this team is as opposed to the other 2. Now, if they come in and lay an egg in these next 2 games, especially at home, then I'm going to have more questions when we come into another discussion like this, and we're talking about the defense and where they really are as a unit. So I'm just gonna say I'm not disappointed with them right now. I'm actually I would say I think they're further along than I thought. But listen, this is the same thing Coach Rule was saying. When he going to his press conferences, he was basically saying the defense is further along than the offense. He's not we're not hearing nothing different than what we've heard out of his own mouth. And I think that's where it is. That's where the state of this team is right now, is right what he said in his press conferences. The defense is further along than the offense.
It is. It's further along. And I don't want to make it, I don't want to be negative on the defense, right? It's done a good job. It's been solid. It's been fine. But
they've been solid enough to win games.
Yes, especially game 1.
Yeah.
Right, especially game 1. But I'll throw this out there too, Strick. Another place the defense has issues is quick passing game. When you're not able to get to the quarterback, I still don't think this is the most athletic group of defensive backs. And that's why you saw, for the most part, Nebraska was playing off.
Cushion.
They're playing deep. They're giving that cushion. And that's fine. Okay, that's one defensive strategy. But Sanders was able to get into a rhythm. Kaliakmanis at the end of the game to get into field goal range was able to get in a rhythm because Nebraska's corners and their safeties aren't able to play up and throw off release timing. Guys are able to get free run, free break, take that 1-2-3 out, 1-2-3 out, 1-2-3 pitch and catch. That's so simple, right? So again, Quentin Newsom's a really good corner, did a really solid job on Travis Hunter.
I would agree.
But there's another step, right? His athletic, again, not saying he's not a better athlete than me. I'm not going to throw myself into this conversation. But compared to elite, game-changing cornerbacks, that's a weakness for Quentin Newsome. He can get beat off the ball. He's not the fastest. He's not the quickest. Technique is fine. Can mirror guys pretty well. But if he's an elite number one shutdown corner, put him up on the line. Don't give the quarterback those rhythm throws, because that's where we've seen other guys get into a rhythm against this defense, build up that confidence.
Absolutely. Yeah, I definitely felt that in game one, where I just couldn't believe we gave that much cushion to allow. We didn't even cover boundary. So we allowed him to basically just like catching quick throws, quick slants that just were open. And so we've got to do better. And I don't know where that lands. I actually like Omar Brown. I like him.
Singleton's made some good plays.
Yeah, I love his ability to come downhill and get into the run game or come in and make plays. I love some great things about him. I think they're doing some great things. I'm even excited about the defensive line play. Linhart looked excelente to me. I was like, wait, where did he come from? I was asking the question, who's the guy? Gabago or
Mekhi Bayer.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, they got some pieces now that are looking to come alive. I'm hoping there's just more consistency that they build off of as we go into these next two home games.
Scott on the text line says he thinks I'm off base with the defense. He says the defense can carry you to a bowl game if the offense is just okay. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The defense isn't good enough to cover for a bad offense, right? Which is kind of what we're expecting them to do, right? If the defense maintains this level of performance and the offense bumps up to 65th, overall 66th, which would be that halfway point, yeah, you can get by and get to a bowl game with this defense. With the offense playing like this, though, you have to ask more of the defense if you want bowl game to be a consideration. If you're
I don't know if they have that second gear. That's what you're saying.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, there's a lot to get to there. Let me throw this aspect to you too, Strick. Jeff Sims, again, we talked about him a lot in hour one. As I turn the focus to the defense, Luke Reimer, Nick Henrich, we know 6 of the 9 single digits are on defense, or 7 of the 9, really, are on defense. If you're those guys on defense, do you ever ask Jeff Sims to watch film with you? Say, hey, here's what the defense is thinking. Here's their look. Here's their alignment. As a linebacker, this is what I'm thinking. Quentin Newsome as a DB, here's where I'm lined up. Here's what I'm thinking. If you're a defensive guy, is it your responsibility to go to Jeff Sims and ask to watch film with him?
I don't know if they would allow crossbreeding of rooms like that. I don't see why it would be a problem outside of your normal day's work. I just think he needs to put in more time. So maybe that's it. Like, for example, in high school, there were things that I was very good at. I was good at social studies. I was good at history. I was good at English. I was good in other areas. I struggled in math. I struggled in science. Not that I couldn't do it. I was an A honor roll student. I got it done. But I'm saying a weakness for me was there in that area. So guess what I did? I go to the teacher. I was struggling in algebra 2 at the time. And I tell the teacher, I say, listen, can I use my extra time, my study hall hour, which I had an extra hour, to sit down with you and work on it? It was a twofold thing. One, I wanted her to know that I was willing to put in the extra time and the effort. 2, I wanted to basically make sure that I had an extra eye on the information that was being presented, and an extra perspective maybe is different from what I'm seeing. That's what you're saying. My issue is, are they willing to do that? Are guys in that room, to include Jeff Sims, willing to put in the extra time? Then, and this goes back to what I said. I said, is he Kyler Murray? Is he the guy that's really putting in the work? Because what can happen if you're the head guy and the quarterback, and for example, remember I've talked to you about the Steve Nash situation when I was a starter at Dallas, and then Steve comes and he was my backup, my claim to fame, right? It's different when Steve Nash is looking over the bench and knowing that there's somebody capable of coming in here and filling in if you're blowing up the spot. You're slipping, right? It's a lot different when you look over there and you know there's no question this guy's not better than me. You know what I'm saying? And I sometimes wonder if that's what's going on with Jeff. You're not putting in the extra time. Maybe I'm not saying, I'm just saying, yeah, you kind of know that, hey, you got to use me because I know these guys aren't capable. So that's just something to throw out.
That to me is where I think a guy like Reimer, Newsome, Henrich, even as single digits, if that's what's going to carry sway in the locker room, they have as much of a voice as Sims does, if not more, right? They've been around longer. They have more of the locker room. So if I'm those guys, right, if I care about this team, if I want to make my last or one of my last years of college football,
you're saying give them a defensive perspective from the position.
Yes.
Based on the film of the game of the other team. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I can see. Okay. I like that.
I'm not saying call him out in front of the locker room, take him to task, put him on the carpet, anything like that. You don't have to be public about it, but right after practice, hey, this is what I saw. Can I show you on film? Yeah. Or on the airplane? Hey, Jeff, let's go through this. You want to do this right now, right? If he's not willing to do that with other guys that have as much of a voice in that locker room as he does, that's on him. If the linebackers and other defensive guys aren't offering to go over film with him, that's on them. That tells me everything I need to know right there. Again, I know they're college athletes. I don't know their schedule. I've never been in there. I'm sure there's plenty else that they have to do. There's plenty else they want to do, that they need to be mentally at their best. But if they're going to tell me I'm all about football and school and that's it, and they're not using every resource available to them to get better, the guys on the team are a resource for each other.
Yeah.
They have to be, especially in times like this where there's so much pressure building on them. There's so much external conversation. Lean on each other, help each other get better. If they're not taking that step because they don't know to take that step, okay, coaches maybe say, hey, here's an idea. Luke and Nick, go watch film with Jeff, right? Propose this to him. If the players know that they could and they're choosing not to, that's on them. I don't know those dynamics. It's just an idea that I think might help.
Yeah, I think it's one worth pursuing. I mean, those are things that I had done with other, guards on my team, other veteran guards. I know I've done that. It was a little bit different getting film back then. It was freaking VHS tape, but nonetheless, it was something that we did do in order to understand. I mean, you see it on different levels when the Olympic teams get together, where you would see Kobe telling, Dwayne Wade some stuff, and different guys giving certain things that they see and perspectives on things. I think it would be an advantageous thing to see it from another eye's perspective, not just as necessarily hearing it from the offensive side of things, but seeing
even
it from the
coach,
defensive side,
from a
you know
player.
what I mean? Just to be able to sit down and get a different perspective of what, as a linebacker, what my keys are, right? Because if you can learn keys, you can understand zones, drop zones based on this, certain movements as you're watching their movements, certain keys that they give on blitzes. Maybe the linebacker jumps up and then drops into zone where he fakes like he's going to, and then you could see creep guys on the right and understand where potential. So you have to be aware of that. But that's what scares me about Jeff Sims, the awareness part. I think you can teach him that all day long. I think you could show it to him. You could key it to him. You can, all the things you want to do to help him in this process. My issue still goes back to awareness.
And even if he mentally understands it and can grade out well on a test, how does he look under fire?
Yeah.
I feel
it's tough, man.
Plenty more to get to, I'm sure, on Husker football. We'll do that throughout the week. We're going to stick a pin in this conversation and flip it to recruiting. Nebraska finally gets a home game. It's been a while since they opened it to on the road. What goes into recruiting, with the team where it is, the first home game being at this point of the year? We'll talk to our guy, Brian Munson, for a Husker recruiting update next.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and Bob just wanted to say thank you for a record-setting July here at Koppel. The summer spend continues and all incentives are crazy good. Check this out. We got 0.9% financing along with a 25 $500 in rebate on select new models. You heard right. 0.9% financing has been extended along with a trade-in rebate. Also, our GM certified used inventory is filling up fast. So make that money-saving drive to Koppel. It's just south of the interstate, or shop online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with roof credit. Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and there is one place that has all the games plus great food and beer specials. Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Whether it's Thursday night football, college football Saturdays, NFL Sundays, or Monday night football, there's a great view of the game from any seat with different food and drink specials every night. Try the Blue Ribbon Reuben sandwich or the prime rib French dip or any of their famous chicken wings. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
Sunday morning. It's quiet, not in a weird, too quiet way. Calm, peaceful, tranquil. You pour yourself that cup of coffee. You slice yourself a hearty chunk of one of Beatrice Bakery's breakfasts. Now, maybe a streusel guy. Nothing wrong with that. I can respect that. Personally, I'm a turtle nut man. Something about those pecans. But the real ones, though, don't sleep in that date nut bread. Sweet, but not too sweet. Nutty, not overly. The perfect morning treat. Beatrice Bakery. Online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
Is your backyard ready for fun with friends and family this fall? GE Landscape Supply has pavers and boulders, which are a great accent for any backyard landscaping project. And you can find them at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere nearby or far away. 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday, and 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturdays. Go to gelandscapesupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
Summer is winding down, but there's no reason to put your golf clubs away. Double Eagle Golf makes golf leagues and events possible year-round. Sign up today for 9-hole leagues this fall, any day from Monday to Friday, starting up September 25th. Check out their deals on monthly memberships and schedule your Husker watch parties, birthday or bachelor parties, corporate and team outings, or just a good old Saturday with the boys. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street. Call today at 402-742-0140.
The best way to learn about Southeast Community College is to visit. SCC's Career Days will provide you with a hands-on experience as you learn alongside SCC faculty and students and industry partners. Explore careers in healthcare, construction, ag, automotive, manufacturing, engineering, power sports, transportation, or technology. See your options at southeast.edu/visit SCC. SCC, your path to possible.
John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air. When it comes to your home or business, we know you have options, and that's why John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air Conditioning gives you just that, options. We have plumbing, heating, and cooling memberships to serve all of your residential and commercial needs. We will ensure you, your family, and your business are safe. Visit our website, jhlincoln.com, to find out more or call us at 435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
For many Nebraskans, fall means cooler weather and longer days that include running kids around, cheering for your favorite teams, and long days at work. The hours on your feet can really add up and give us a pain and discomfort. At Fleet Feet Lincoln, they help find the shoes and inserts you need with their Fit ID machine, which takes a 3D image of your feet. If you're having trouble finding the right fit, visit Fleet Feet Lincoln at 77th and Pioneers.
The captain.
I'm going to be outside fighting Colorado fans.
Oh, okay.
You know, that's what I'm going to be doing.
Yeah, I got them boys bold, man. He got the hood behind.
I'm going to eat, talk football, and talk trash. And if I have to, I'm going to kick a little ass. So it doesn't matter.
Listen, calm down, big fella. You 48.
Yeah, might be there on Monday. So reporting live from Boulder. Terrell's walking out, y'all. You don't be there always on live. Look at him walking out.
Hey, listen, though, that is not happening. Son. You're going to walk away. You hear me? You walk away.
Back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back on the block. Austin Norman, Eric Strickland with you, and we go to our VIP line brought to you by Allo Fiber, where we understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. We welcome in Brian Munson of Husker Online. Brian, how's it going? Long time no chat. What's up in your world?
I was just laughing at that. The little who was that talking there about having to maybe be restrained and being 48 years old and walking away, and who was that?
That wasn't me.
Was it Jay? Was that Jay? Was it Foreman?
Well, about being able to walk away from. Help me.
No,
help.
did you guys hear the promo from the Colorado game about somebody telling him that he might have to get into a fight or whatever?
Oh, that was me.
Yeah. We know that guy.
That was me. Yeah.
Oh, that was you, Strick?
Yeah. I listen. I had to say why I didn't go. Like, I actually had opportunities to pull tickets, and I knew that if I went in there. But let me just give you a quick example. I went to the Oklahoma game last year, right? And I almost wanted to pull my hair out, and I don't have hair, and so I knew that they were, Colorado fans are nasty, and I knew that if I went in there and it got frustrating. And we ended up coming up short. Somebody could have said the wrong thing, bumped into me wrong, or did something, and then I would have ended up, possibly in the paddy wagon. So that's why I left it alone.
I got a really nice offer to go as well. 45-yard line, 40 rows up behind the Nebraska bench, and I was in the so it was my birthday, and maybe that's the reason why I was.
Happy birthday!
Belated birthday. Was 48, and I turned 49 on Saturday.
I'll be 50.
48's in my. You're 50.
I'll be 50. I'll be 50 in November.
Okay, but 48's in my rear view, and I was maybe shedding a tear over that. But I've done the same, and I tell you what, along the same lines as like Colorado fans, them fans in Lubbock, they're not much better. They're not much better, man. I tell you what. Yeah, no, Lubbock was rough. I had a couple rough trips out there, and the 70-10 game in particular. There was almost paddy wagon time for old Brian. Trust me, that was a bad night.
Oh, wow. Well, we're glad you didn't make it in the paddy wagon, and you're still here with us. Thank you for joining us today. Let's talk Huskers, man. Get him. We about to jump on you and see if you can fight back right now.
Yeah, Brian. Let's start with this: the simple fact that Nebraska's 0-2. They have their first home game coming up this weekend. What's the message for this coaching staff to the recruits that are going to be in town? Is it still, hey, here's the vision, here's how we see you, this is how we develop you? Is it trying to instill a little bit of the savior complex? Hey, you're the piece we need. What's the messaging like for the coaching staff with recruits in town for official visits this weekend?
Well, I mean, to me, you still have a very positive kind of way of framing up the Minnesota game. I mean, Nebraska should not have lost that game. I mean, I don't know how radically different things would be right now if Nebraska won that game 13-10 versus losing it 13-10. But I think that the thing about right now with these Huskers is that they are battle tested. They have been to a couple of places, played on some national television. They have had a chance to let the butterflies show. They've had a chance to let maybe even like the surroundings get the best of them a little bit. Maybe that's what was under the hood with Jeff Sims a little bit. Maybe that's what's gotten to the players in a couple of these other penalties and other bad situations with procedures and just kind of things where you're kind of caught up in that moment. I think Nebraska is better for having gone through what they've gone through. I know that people are probably out there kind of shaking their heads and rolling their eyes a little bit because I do believe that there are still things that kind of exist in front of this team that I don't see how this isn't going to be an ongoing issue. But as far as the recruits this Saturday, I basically would tell them this: Nebraska didn't open up with a couple of cupcakes, and there are other teams around the country that do. Nebraska is going to be better off for what they've gone through. They're going to demonstrate that now, kind of moving forward. They got an excellent opportunity to kind of get a chance to maybe get that win on Saturday night. Although NIU is still a very good football team, and I think it's going to be one of those things where obviously the work is in progress. Those guys that are in the class now have got to see their futures. They've got to see that there's going to be a a plan for them, that there's a way for them, a path almost to like get on the football field, because obviously they want to be part of this solution. They want to be part of the answer. They want to be one of the reasons why they didn't lose those games, earlier on in the season. So Nebraska has to tell those guys that basically nothing has changed, that they're still moving forward. They wish they would have got one of those two or both of those games. And now the sights and the focus are on the rest of the season and getting those guys to Lincoln as soon as possible to help them, completely, keep this turnaround going.
One big target for Nebraska this cycle still is Brandon Baker, the big offensive tackle out of Mater Dei. Announced a commitment date. It's coming here at the end of the month. Will he be in town for this game, or will it be Louisiana Tech?
It's actually going to be this weekend. I think that's what he announced on Twitter, unless I'm saying that completely wrong. I think this weekend's the 16th, right?
Yes.
Yeah, my birthday was the 9th. Yeah. So he announced on Twitter this weekend that it was going to be September 16th, which makes sense. It's a 6:00 game. I mean, you can get guys in from all over the country, to be there in time for that game. That's always the challenge with Lincoln, just because those guys most of the time have to travel into Omaha, then you have to kind of tack on the hour-long kind of trip from Omaha to Lincoln, and and it makes it really difficult for like an 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock start for those guys, depending on wherever they're traveling in from. But 6 o'clock start, coming from the West Coast, you're going to get there in time, and that's really a nice weekend for him to kind of get up there. But yeah, it'll be this weekend. And right now, I mean, we don't know a lot about the names of the other visitors that are going to be there. And what's going to be one of the segments of my 3 and Out though on Wednesday, because you're dancing all over it right now, is that Nebraska has probably 2 of their top remaining targets, one for each of the next 2 classes, with Brandon Baker and Alex Mansky coming in that weekend. So it's a big recruiting weekend, because there's probably, not a more important recruit on Nebraska's list on their big board than Brandon Baker, because his path to the football field is show up, and learn the offense. And that's literally what kind of talent you're talking about right there. And then of course, with Alex Mansky, he's really been, treated as that number 1 top quarterback, prospect for Nebraska on their board in the class of 2025.
Also on the offensive line, a guy we haven't heard from, I think we were supposed to by now, Grant Bricks. Any update on him and why no commitment yet?
So, yeah, Grant Bricks. Man, I tell you what, so 2 weeks ago was the last time I spoke with him. He called me, and he kind of let me know that it was going to be, in the next 3 weeks. And I told him I'm not going to call him for 2 weeks. So last night was the first night. Actually, it was the week before Labor Day. Excuse me. And I hadn't called him for 2 weeks, and I finally reached out to him last night and said, "Hey, bud, am I going to hear from you this week?" And I didn't hear anything. And I really feel like this is still a decision that he's struggling with for, reasons that people probably would maybe not necessarily agree with, but he's, he doesn't want to disappoint anybody. He doesn't want to let anybody down. He isn't looking forward to making those tough phone calls. I mean, imagine calling Nick Saban, and having to tell him no, or potentially, Rule, or Venables, tell him that he's not coming. So I can understand, that this is, the biggest decision that he's had to make in his life so far. And he's going to call some very important people that have done nothing wrong. He just is choosing to do something else than what they want him to do. And that part right there for him makes it very, very difficult. But I think he's closing in on a decision. I know some people kind of tell me that it's down to 3 schools. I'll tell you, the last time I talked to him, Alabama was still at least being a word that he was muttering. It definitely came up that he had not been to an Alabama game, even though he's talking like he doesn't want to take any more visits before he makes the decision. So I think it could be next week. I think it's going to be sometime in the next week and a half. I kind of predicted it was going to be this week. It's not looking real positive yet. I guess it's really only Monday, but maybe you'll hear something this week, but I got a feeling you'll hear something by like maybe next weekend.
We're talking with Brian Munson of Husker Online here on our Allo VIP line, brought to you by Allo Fiber, where we understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. Quarterback's been a big topic of conversation. You just mentioned Mansky, but the guy in the 2024 class for Nebraska, Brian, is Daniel Kalen, who really hasn't gotten off to the hottest of starts for Bellevue West through 4 games this season. I know you wrote a little bit about previewing the Bellevue West versus West Side game. Warriors end up taking down the Thunderbirds in a romp. What's going on at Bellevue West?
Injuries, inconsistency, looking to kind of catch that stride. I mean, you missed McMorris basically for 2 games. You bring McMorris back, and now Davon Hall is getting an MRI today on his arm. It's not been a great season just because you've had these inconsistencies with lineups, personnel, and you're looking for a defense to generate. I mean, looking for defense to make a stop, to generate some turnovers, to help the offense out a little bit. The offense is sputtering. It sounds like a familiar story with what's going on there in Lincoln a little bit with the struggling offense. But I think that smart money though is still on Bellevue West to kind of get some things going. They're just looking to kind of lock in the chemistry a little bit. And I don't know necessarily if it's not going to help, not having Davon Hall. So maybe it's not going to happen, quite as quickly as what they need it to. But yeah, they're struggling, and I think it's just because I think there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of people that are watching those guys. I can't remember the last time, or even if there's been a time where Nebraska had commitments from 3 guys on the same football team. I'll have to maybe go back and take a look at my records to see if I can find anything like that. But it's certainly an interesting, time for those guys because of the skill positions, the positions that they play, the skill positions, and obviously that offense has been under a microscope all fall, all season so far.
Does it dull the shine for Nebraska at all? The fan perspective, I'm sure, is wondering, but from the coaching staff perspective, is there any sort of, what did we get ourselves into? Are we sure these are our guys, or are they still pretty confident in that it is just chemistry and they'll find their stride?
Well, I'll tell you from the comments I've read, because I run a story it's usually every Monday. Sometimes it's on Tuesdays. I mean, with Labor Day last weekend, it was a Tuesday story. So I'd like to try to get it up tonight, just depending on when the stats get done. But I know there's definitely some people that are keeping their eyes on the stats. They're wondering a little bit, about why people are underperforming, and it's not just those 3 guys. I mean, there's a number of guys that actually are underperforming, as far as this class goes. I wouldn't want to name names necessarily. I mean, but I would tell you that the Bellevue West guys are repeatedly called out, and I think that I even mentioned, like in Tunnel Talk, talking to Ja'Cory Barney when I put his stats in front of him, that he wasn't too fond of the numbers that I was showing to him, and he actually, was pretty surprised about it and said that his numbers were trash. And he's a guy that took that as a personal challenge. I know he caught at least 1 touchdown last week, but I don't know what the rest of his stats were. But I mean, I think there's a couple of guys that have some really, really, really good stats this year. Carter Nelson, Kewan Lacey. One guy, low key, I really, really like what he's doing, defensively. Carlin Jones, and what he's got going on in Bay City, Texas. He's having a really disruptive, type of season playing defensive tackle, defensive line for them. So I do think that there are some guys having some exceptional years, and I think there's some guys right now that are just kind of struggling. And then obviously there's a number of guys that are out with injuries. You're missing Preston Talamua. I was just told last week that Rex Guthrie got hurt. He's done for the season. Ian Flint is another player that nobody really understood what was kind of going on with him. And he actually caught up with me last week and he had surgery and he's out now with trying to come back by week 5, I think is what he was talking about. So you got them, and Evan Taylor tore his ACL and his MCL in the first game. I mean, it's just there's been some bad luck, and obviously, if it's not bad luck injury wise, there's some bad luck just trying to get things going production wise so far.
Last thing for you then, Brian, on that kind of big picture. I know we're only 2 games into the Matt Rule era at Nebraska. Is it too early to question their ability to scout talent, to find those right guys for their roster, given some of the struggles of guys that are currently playing for Nebraska? Or is it too early? Is it just panic because the football team's 0-2 and everything's being called into question?
So if there is one thing to kind of feel good about, it's that, the number of young guys that are seeing the football field, they have really caught my eye. And I think that that's something to feel extraordinarily good about. And I think that maybe Nebraska, or at least the staff, has an eye for the type of talent that they're looking for. They know what they're looking for. And I think what you really ran into, last week, it was a buzzsaw. 2.5 quarters, Nebraska played pretty good. There was that long throw down the far sideline going right to left that really, after that, it seemed like everything spiraled downward for Nebraska. They couldn't keep that play in front of them, and then they failed to keep a lot of plays after that in front of them, and that really challenged them the rest of the game. But I think that what Nebraska has got going right now is that they've got some young guys that are stepping up, and I think they got some other guys that you'll continue to start seeing them as the season progresses. I think that tells a very positive story to the players that are in the class, that they're going to get an early look, early in their careers. And I think that's something to be excited about. I think that's about, playing the type of football that Matt Rule and his staff want to play. And I think that, honestly, like I said, you're not going to see it immediately that, there's a positive here from the 0-2 start, but I think that those two environments couldn't have been more difficult. It really couldn't have started out worse. Just on the road, 2 games, Deion, catching that big win at Fort Worth and carrying that momentum over into Boulder, and PJ Fleck just always seems to have something for Nebraska. But yeah, I think that the team in the long run could be better off for what just happened to them. It's just a matter of kind of using those as learning circumstances and learning situations and moving on.
Brian, plenty more we could ask you, but we know you're working hard, plenty on your other burners. So appreciate you finding time to fit us in. What's up from you on 3 that people can go check out that we didn't talk about?
I do have some updates coming. I got a couple guys out there in Duncanville. I haven't run their stories yet. I ran Cortez Mills, 2025 wide receivers coming in for the Michigan game. I ran that yesterday. And then I think what we're going to start seeing here is we're going to start seeing more and more names trickle out about who the visitors are going to be on Saturday night. So keep it tuned there. You can go up there to the football recruiting drop down, click on the visitors tab, and make sure you're looking through the various years, because they won't all just pop up, if they're coming in. You got to go through the 24, 25, 26 drop down. So something to kind of remember on that. But as I get that information, I'll be dropping top level threads on Red Sea Scrolls, as well as updating the database.
There you go. Go check it out. Husker Online. Go find it. Brian, as always, appreciate the time. Have a good rest of your week, man.
Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you soon.
Brian joins us on our VIP line, brought to you by Aloe Fiber, where we understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. Lot to chew on there. We'll take a break. Husker Hall of Famer waiting next door. Jay Foreman in the house. We'll bring him in, cross it over to wrap up on the block next.
Guys, you've heard me tell you all about Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, but it's not just me. Folks all over town are having success with the FXB program. Guys like Gary, who just finished up his own 10-week challenge.
Yeah. After having a knee replacement, looking for a way to get back into shape. The workouts are fun. The atmosphere is a total blast. And I've lost 17 pounds since starting in July.
The next Farrell's 10-week challenge begins on October 7th, and ticket listeners get $150 off enrollment. Just head to theticketfm.com. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric brings exciting career opportunities for you or someone you know. They are now hiring plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs and installers to continually build their professional team. They offer competitive pay and full benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action has created a positive team environment for over 50 years. Apply online at actionlincoln.com.
Problem gambling is not just a financial issue. It's an emotional problem with financial consequences. If your loved one is struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
For many Nebraskans, fall means cooler weather and longer days that include running kids around, cheering for your favorite teams, and long days at work. The hours on your feet can really add up and give unnecessary pain and discomfort. At Fleet Feet Lincoln, they help find the shoes and inserts you need with their Fit ID machine, which takes a 3D image of your feet. If you're having trouble finding the right fit, visit Fleet Feet Lincoln at 77th and Pioneers.
John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and
When it comes to your home or business, we know you have options, and that's why John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning gives you just that, options. We have plumbing, heating, and cooling memberships to serve all of your residential and commercial needs. We want to ensure you, your family, and your business are safe. Visit our website, jhlincoln.com, to find out more or call us at
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
Great Diesel and Equipment Services is hiring and seeking motivated applicants. Gray offers a second-to-none benefit package that includes health, dental, vision, 401k, paid vacation, and paid holidays. They offer great pay and tuition reimbursement or a tool purchase program for qualified candidates. It's a fun, friendly team with lots of variety and work assignments, so there's something for everybody. View and apply for their job openings today at grayusa.com. Visit them in person just off I-80 and North 56th Street. Come be a part of the Gray difference.
If your car has sent you to the sidelines, Eustace Body Shop can help. With gold-class certified technicians, OEM parts, and free loaner cars, Eustace Body Shop is your best choice this Husker season. And with 6 locations across central and eastern Nebraska, we've got you covered, whether you're rooting at home or you're headed to Memorial Stadium. Get a free online quote at eusticebodyshop.com, and let's get you back in the game.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Problem gambling is not just a financial issue. It's an emotional problem with financial consequences. If you are a loved one struggling with addiction, contact Center's 24-hour line, 476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
Tune to the Malone Radio Show from 9 to 10 p.m. every Sunday night to learn more about the Malone Center's goal to eliminate multi-generation poverty in Lincoln. It's the Malone Radio Show every Sunday night from 9 to 10 p.m. on 93.7 theticketfm.com.
When it comes to tackling your fall projects, having the right equipment can make a huge difference. At Sunbelt Rentals, they have an extensive line of tools and equipment to help complete any job. From lawn and landscape equipment to hand tools, pressure washers, portable generators for you tailgaters, and much more. Sunbelt Rentals makes it easy to get what you need when you need it. Drop in to see the experts at 5450 Alvo Road in Lincoln, or visit sunbeltrentals.com today to learn how Sunbelt Rentals can make it happen for you.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, and they've scouted out the best Kawasaki side-by-side deals for you. Score up to $2,500 off the 2023 Kawasaki Terex and up to $1,000 off Mule Pro FX and FXCs. Whether you want to handle the toughest task in a trusted, tried and true mule or looking to dominate adventure in a Terex, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered with a large selection of Kawasaki side-by-sides in stock at their new 27th and I-80 location. Hurry in, the clock is running down. Offer valid through 9/30/2023. Subject to change without notice. Offer available on approved purchases of select new unregistered Kawasaki vehicles. Model and year exclusions apply. Cannot retail financing rates. Look this summer at the Mercado by Surtees at 84th and Half. This week's specials to present grass finished flat irons. And don't forget to check out their Friday feast this week. Plus, big news. They have 2 new locations now open at 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
JB acting like you don't be hearing Strick.
I didn't hear you. I wasn't listening. I was reading something.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Welcome back, JPZ. You had a rough one on the return, huh? It was tough. Little delay action.
Yeah, it was all right, man. Nothing can stop me. You know how that is. The great ones adjust, my brother.
Yeah, well, I was glad we got to sit down and kind of enjoy this debacle of a game, but you know, we got to talk to some things. You know, your initial takes is what areas outside of the quarterback situation, what areas of improvement do you think Nebraska needs to operate in?
You know, I guess the easy answer would be offensive line, but I think it's just mainly just one position, which then affects the other one. I think that being able to
— is it the left side?
Yeah, that, you know, the guard position. You just too many, like, I call them direct access type of misses.
I mean, it's like one grab rips and they're at the quarterback.
It's like D-line drills, getting swam by like a one technique in a long loop, which essentially you're a decoy generally, and then you get in the quarterback's face. That's a sack. The next play, we're going to go over it. Foreman's 4 plays, but then that leads to a drop, which can't happen. I just think overall consistency is there. I look at it like you can't really fault the offensive coordinator because the first half, the play calling was right on point. Right? It was it wasn't. I wouldn't say innovative because it was, but it was innovative strategically well balanced. Right? Came out in 12, 13 personnel and was just gashing them at will. Was on it, which opened up the passing and made passing more efficient for Jeff Sims. And then you drive it all the way down there, fumble a snap, and then you try to go in with it with one hand because you're trying to make a play. And that's what we talked about before the season. Just make the simple play. Okay, yeah, you fumbled. It happens, right? It happens. Whether it's bad snap, whatever you want to call it. You're not going anywhere.
Facts.
Because at that point in time, by the time that I drop the ball and locate the ball and then get a chance to corral it, you're already surrounded by like 8 guys. Because you're not on the perimeter. You're literally in
the mix.
In the phone booth. So there's nowhere for you to go. You want to live to fight another day. Give the kicker the chance to get on the board. And then you just rebound. You're just there, and then you miss a kick, and I think it's just the ability to rebound after one unfortunate thing. But I think also you need some of your older guys or guys that are supposed to be your bell cow players, single digit or not, guys that have been playing a lot of football in the Big Ten and been around here. They need to play a little bit better.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station ID here on 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. The home of Kansas City Royals baseball. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
You bring up single digits, Jay, and apparently that's what carries weight in this locker room with this coaching staff. 2 guys that have single digits played your position, Reimer and Henrich, right? I asked Strick this question. I'll throw it to you as a linebacker. If your quarterback is struggling that bad with simple things, right? I don't think any of the interceptions are on anyone but Jeff Sims. They've all been bad reads. If you're one of those 2 guys, or Quentin Newsome, who also has a single digit, are you asking Jeff Sims to sit down and watch film with you to give him the defensive perspective?
I might, but I might I'll be talking to him. And I mean, that's what you do as a leader. And Jeff Sims has a single digit number as well. So the lines of communication needs to be open. It's not gonna be all coming down on him, but just obviously be on. You're like, look, dude, look, man, we're all in this together. So everybody believes in you to a point that where you have a single digit and you're the starting quarterback. So
is he have a single digit because he's a starting quarterback?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know all the. I'm not. I don't know. So I mean, I
don't know. It's just something I just kind of popped in my head.
It sounds like the team likes him.
Yeah, I think he's done. I think he's done enough, like in and around the team, to earn the respect of the teammates, and that's coming in. Or his teammates coming in. People always talk about his fumble. Now his fumbling issues are just they're extraordinary right now. But when people could try to compare that to Anthony Grant, there's probably other things that go along with it. So I always tell players that are in a Anthony Grant type of situation, you can't set yourself up to be the easy target. Now you're an easy target because you have done stuff previous to make you an easy target. Whether you're late to meetings, not all in, kind of doing your own thing. Well, no coach is like that. No, I mean, I don't know a lot of players that actually, besides like Dennis Rodman, but Dennis Rodman played so hard, he just needed to be Dennis, but he was all in. He never forgot plays. He never didn't rebound. Really Dennis Rodman wasn't like that. He was just a different guy. And that's fine, and everybody respected. He liked to operate like he ought to operate, but he ain't never missed nothing unless he asked to go to Vegas or something.
He missed the plane, and then I missed the plane, and then all of a sudden,
he
missed the time. The time is at 3:00, and it's 3:10. I'm sitting there. What's going on? And 3:01, they gone on me.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah. Listen, Jimmy Johnson said there's rules. Everybody
Different
got
strokes
rules
for different
but
folks.
Michael Irvin and Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith just got different rules, and that's the way it is. There's a pecking order on every team. I just think this is look. I look at it like this: going up to Minnesota, 80% of the people didn't probably expect Nebraska to win if they were honest with themselves, but 80% of the people after the game expected or disappointed Nebraska didn't win because of how they played and how they lost the game.
Nebraska had an 87, 93% post-game win expectancy.
Right. So that's it. The 87% were upset. Right. And then 100% of the people in the offseason, in which I kept telling people, this dude can coach, man. Like, and that's part of the problem, I think, of the Nebraska media and the people. They don't look at the person before. They just look at the easiest job to get here is something just like you have something on your resume. Well, you're good. At this point in time, with the difference of the kids, is that you have to understand the person first, because how he works and how he operates is going to dictate how everybody else does. We saw that firsthand previously. We've seen it now with Matt Rule, where everybody's working. And when everybody in the offseason is like, oh, we're going to go to beat Colorado by 21 points, they don't have a roster. Well, what makes our roster that much better than theirs? We won 4 games and they won 1. I mean, are we really bragging about, winning
4 times
games?
as many?
3 more games,
right.
And so you kind of overestimated ourselves and underestimated them. I don't think the coaching staff and the players did, but then I think going up there after they saw Colorado play against TCU, at most, I think fans were probably 50-50, 40-60, right? Because that first come out show for Colorado. So really I do believe Nebraska at the worst case scenario right now should be 1-1. So whether it's winning the first game, that's probably one. And you really just got outplayed. You got out coached and everything in this other game. So you're 1 game behind where I think you should be, right? Realistically. And maybe just right where you should be based on what we see right now, right? You got Betts that decided to leave. Washington has not been available. He was suspended the first half of the game. He's still kind of getting back in shape. And then, just the continuity. And then you have a quarterback that's struggling a little bit. So you probably have played like an 0-2 team, realistically at times.
I said this, and then we'll get out of your hair and let you guys go nuts on old school. But this last part is one of the things that I would say. I think that this team has a chance to turn it around.
Oh yeah, they got tremendous
because the division is not stacked in any form or fashion.
Well,
they've got a chance to turn it around.
You're 1 game behind probably where you realistically thought you should be. So if you thought you're going to lose to Minnesota, you thought you should beat Colorado, vice versa. You played good enough to beat Minnesota, and you gave the game away. We did, right? Colorado they turned on the Jets, and we circumstantially ignited the fire. So you're 1 game behind, but Nebraska is as much as people have said about the schedule and all this other stuff for years since we've been in the Big Ten. You still have a favorable schedule. You still have now you're looking at, okay, now you got a little bit of a early Christmas present with the turmoil that's going at Michigan State because they're playing really well. That's going to affect them, right? With Mel Tucker being suspended, probably eventually fired. So you can okay, if we go up there and play well early, that's a W. Then you think of Northwestern, then you think of Purdue, then you got these 2 teams that you should be, but it's not going to be easy, right? So and then Illinois is not what they were last year, and they are showing that they're vulnerable, right? Even with that defense, Wisconsin as well, but Illinois especially because they lost a lot.
Oh yeah,
from their back 7.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm a lot. Yeah, they lost. That was their lifeline, and then the running game isn't it. Chase Brown was he's just like right. So that was the tempo setter, and so the quarterback isn't as good as DeVito, right? Or hasn't been as of yet. And then so you could just focus on Isaiah Williams and stop him to run. So you have more than an opportunity to get to 6 games and then some. And you just never know where. I mean, look, Iowa beat Iowa State. They still only scored 20 points. So you're not.
And 7 of them were defensive. Another pick 6.
Another pick 6. So you're not sitting there facing a juggernaut where you're like, oh man, these dudes are gonna 30. We got to play. You still got to play good football. But so a lot of things can be accomplished. The hard thing is that some of the habits or some of the things that have been going on, individually have to understand, like, I cannot do this. Now, I don't know how it's delivered to them or whatever, but you got to have some self-pride about yourself.
Facts.
That's what I think. I mean, right?
I agree. That's what I wanted to get to, because I still, as bad as things look right now to start, it's not as bad as it could be.
It's 13-7 with like 5 minutes left in the third quarter.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know this in basketball. If you're playing, like, say, the Golden State Warriors right now, and after 3 quarters, you're up by 1 or down by 1, and then you end up losing by 20, right? So everybody's looking at the end game. You lost by 20. But you know what probably happened against Golden State? It was probably about 4 or 5 minutes where they went berserk, 4 or 5 minutes where you guys just lost your way.
Bad, and you turned the ball over.
You just lost your way, right? So I would say this: if you can do it for 3.5 quarters, or 3 quarters, 2.5 quarters, you can do it all game.
You sure can.
So the loss was bad because on national TV and the dynamics of it. But realistically, you're with all this, and that's with however many turnovers before that right there, and how many missed opportunities, missed field goal and all that. So kind of whipped cream on horse doo-doo.
Jay Foreman, stay tuned for the Foreman 4, right? 4 plays that swung the game.
Yeah, 4 big pivotal plays, and then we'll talk about the game. Talk a little bit about how hard or how easy I think it is to be the coach here. That's because I know other coaches and the dynamics. And I'm a big believer. It is what you make it, you know. And and where what the real long-term deal is, I think, is don't panic. You know what I mean? And so that's it, man. We'll see what happens.
There you go. That'll be old school with Jay and D. PLB and Stricky. Good stuff as always. Appreciate you, my guy.
Long day tomorrow. We'll be right back here 2 p.m. to 4, and we'll have WTF as well at 8 to 9. Clester Johnson will be joining us from Chicago. We're out of here for tonight. 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
This is Brad with Midwest Bank, proudly serving our Nebraska communities for over 70 years. We're a community bank making local decisions, and help local businesses and firms succeed. We are dedicated to serving our clients and helping meet their financials with sound, innovative banking solutions. From an array of checking and deposit accounts, cash management services, to small business, real estate, and ag lending. We're here for you, your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwestbank.com. Member FDIC.
Hey, old buddy. I took you through the car wash and drove you out to your favorite dirt road to talk about something. Well, I'll tell you. Trucks and Bucks from the Nebraska Lottery's back, and I'm just going to buy some tickets. That's all. No reason to get upset. Of course you mean a lot to me. But this year, the Nebraska Lottery's giving away 8 Atlas Blue 2023 Ford F-150 XLT Super Crew Flex Fuel trucks. I mean, these things are gorgeous. And what happens if I win one? Hey, you'll still be part of the family. I thought maybe I'd give you to my nephew, Josh. He's not a terrible driver. He only left the gas nozzle in his tank and drove off once. Okay, twice.
Ford F-150 is a registered trademark owned and licensed by Ford Motor Company. Top price odds 1 in 336,000.
Imagine a world where no one explains the rules of the game. Just go out there and do your best, kid. But your best isn't good enough. Junior Achievement is working on leveling the playing field. We need your support. Suit up. It's game time.
Visit ja.org/volunteer.
Brown Shoe Fit has all types of shoes for you to excel this fall. Check out their large variety and dress shoes in brands like Soka, Merrill, On, and many more. Browns has the local professionals to get the proper fit, aided by their high-tech foot scanner by A-Track. Brown Shoe Fit today, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln, or got their options online at brownshoefitco.com. It has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group home to independent resources and job training, you'll find support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices. Rosie Sports Bar and Grill. Open for lunch and dinner at 10th and P or at 1501 Center Park Road.
Problem gambling is not
not just a financial issue. For a loved one with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center 4-hour helpline at 402-476